Hello, this is Krysis with Under Black Sky, and you're listening to Music Existence.
Welcome to another instance of Music Existence, where because of music, we exist. Today, I have Krysis, voice of the unspeakable. The band just released their single Firefly. I'm talking about Under Black Sky from their upcoming debut album Bad Blood, Chapter 1. And the accompanying Undead Roadshow is kicking off October 22nd. So, Krysis of Under Black Sky, welcome to Music Existence. Thank you so much for coming on, man.
My pleasure. It's an honor. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, so let's take it back to your previous tour. You were with Killer's Confession, and it was a horrifying trip back to the 2000s. Members of Mushroomhead were there. J-Man, Waylon, Stitch. How was that for you?
It was awesome. We had a great time. It was a great run. I'm pretty sure every spot that we hit, people were entertained. They had a good time. It was also good being not just getting out into the market, but doing it with guys from Mushroomhead was insanely cool and fun at the same time.
Yeah, I'd imagine. And sort of the um, counterpoint to that being on those tours is, even though it's great to meet your heroes, essentially, you got to take care of yourself. And I was wondering, like, with your ears and your voice being so sensitive, crucial tools in that regard, how do you take care of it? Do you recommend like a certain kind of like earplugs or vocal training?
Well, it's hard because it's like every venue is different, right? Everything is a different set of challenges, whether it's a smaller venue, whether it's a large venue, from a sound system perspective. I will tell you that, when we play live, we're always using in-ear monitors, which is pretty standard these days, which is important because you do have some control over what's coming into your ears. But that doesn't, you're not, you're in that environment from the day the bus pulls up until you leave. So there's a lot of ambient noise and things that I would highly recommend, especially if you are coming to see one of the shows. It might not be a bad idea to maybe take some ear protection. We've seen a lot of kids come out to the show, which we love to see. And it's great, having to see them, with big old earphones on and whatnot. But it's certainly helpful because it does get extremely loud. As far as voice concerned, yeah, I mean, it's always, I mean, you're on the road, it's always a little more challenging because you don't have the creature comforts of home. Whether we like to work out quite a bit and like to stay healthy and whatnot. But, when you're on the road, you're at the mercy of what's available at the time. And you might not be able to get as much sleep as you want. You might not be able to get as much exercise as you want or eat the way you want. But we find a way to make it work. And we're excited to look forward to getting back out again.
There's a lot of intimacy in the venues too. A lot of sweaty bodies, a lot of illness too. So like,
Not my
it's
favorite,
hard,
right? It is hard, but we've been very fortunate that I mean, maybe it's just because when you're out there and you're in it 24 hours a day, 7 days a week, maybe you build up that a little
immunity,
bit of
right?
yeah, exactly.
Yeah, and but the intimacy too with the crowd is essential. And I mentioned to you off screen, broadening your audience, and I saw this picture of you with this guy Justin and his son Augie. It was really cute, and
Yeah.
like, how did you like kind of come to terms with that? Did you know you had fans that young?
No, we had no idea. Quite honestly, that was kind of our debut run, and we didn't know what to expect. We didn't know whether fans were going to hate it. We didn't know fans were going to love it. We just knew that we knew we're passionate about it, and hope that that would transcend into well, across demographics and across age, to the point where we had at every show we had a handful of kids out there, and I personally love to see that, because heck, that whether they're 8, 9, 10 years old, or in their young teens, we were all there before. And I remember being an 8, 9, 10-year old kid, and just being awestruck at some of the artists and the musicians out there, and saw what they were doing, and gave me the inspiration to do the things that we do today. So I'm hoping that we have that kind of impact on the younger folks that come out to see our shows.
So, yeah, because I was wondering about that. Like, when I saw that, I was like, like 20, 30 years ago, you had that kind of broad appeal with artists. Like, everyone from the most different crowds would come out to the shows, everyone you wouldn't expect. And, of course, like, you didn't expect it, but, like, here you are. I mean, does it surprise you the more kind of younger fans you meet?
Yeah, for sure. Well, especially now, because the technology changes so quickly. The music industry is not quite the same as it used to be years ago, and so for newer generations coming up, sometimes you question yourself: Is it the same? Is it the same today as it was? Does music hit the youth the same way it hit me when I was younger? And when I see that, I see those younger kids coming out and see the look in their eyes. It's a great feeling to know that, okay, this is still transcends time. Music is it plays a vital role in motivating people, and forcing them to grow, and learn and develop, and be inspired to do things that many people sometimes think are impossible, or um, they just, like I said, music hits people differently, and it's great to see um, that's still a thing.
Yeah, and it's really cool to see, like, just because, like, active rock isn't visible doesn't mean it's not happening anymore. It's still happening, but people just aren't directed to it to the same frequency that they were before.
Yes, yeah. I think there's so many options now, and I think the youth today, growing up, that I mean, they've got access to information that we didn't have quite access to when we were that young. So we didn't
Right.
have uh, we just didn't have access to all of the great music that's out there. Access was a little bit harder back then.
Right.
So I think that it's harder because there's so much music out there, so much talent out there. And as a young person, how much can you hear at one time? It's different if you had 10 bands out there, and those were the 10 bands that you listened to.
You ever
Now
hear the saying? It's like, it used to be 10 bands selling millions of records. Now it's
yes,
millions of bands selling 10 records.
exactly right. So it's a lot more in the space at this point, and I love that, because that's creativity, and I'm glad that it is that way. But it's a different world, and it's harder to be heard.
Right.
There's a lot of noise. It's harder to be heard out there. So I think that's one of our things. It's really, really important that we do the best we possibly can to be heard. You
Mm-hmm.
know, so that's our goal.
Mm-hmm. And let's take it back to when you were younger and how your musical foundation started. Tell me about that.
Well, I'll tell you that um, without dating myself, I think that the inspiration and the foundation of the music that I grew up with, and the things that still inspire me today, are the same bands that inspire any band that's in hard rock or metal. When it goes to if you were thinking, okay, I'm in a metal band or I'm in a hard rock band, and you ask them who their influences were or whatever, I'm pretty sure Metallica probably popped up
Hmm.
at one time or another. I'm sure, I'm hoping that Led Zeppelin popped up. I'm hoping that Black Sabbath popped up. I'm hoping that, some of the fundamental artists and fundamental bands that, without them, we wouldn't even be creating this type of music. I don't know what we'd be doing at this moment. So, I get inspired by that even to this day. I go back and listen to some of that stuff, and I'm like, wow, that's amazing that these guys were able to create this sound and create this type of message so many years ago, and it still inspires me today.
Hmm. And one of the earliest songs I've heard from yours was Deepfake, and I think we've all been there, man. We've
Yeah.
been burned so many times that we become like a fraction of ourselves. We forget about ourselves, man. Like you're not sure if you still have the same mojo, the same rhythm, and it's like you feel stuck in a way.
Well, like I said, there's so much noise out
Yeah.
there. It's not just you in your own head, it's
Mhm.
everyone else that's out there. And everyone's so much more impressionable
Mhm.
because there's so much information coming at you. And the attention span of the majority of people today is, maybe 2 or 3 seconds. And
Mhm.
when there's so much information being jammed in between your two ears, 24 hours a day, 2 or 3 seconds at a time, you start to question who you are and where you fit in. And that's a dangerous place to be.
Mhm. And like how it is with music, but also how it is with relationships and the swiping culture,
Yep.
if you'd call it that, and just having that many avenues to put your attention towards. Like, and even then, it just feels like, you know, it's like people don't know each other to cherish them. It's like they get to know each other to figure people out so that when
Right.
they notice a set amount of like patterns, then they're like, okay, you're boring. Next.
Yep. Well, it's too easy.
Yeah.
It's too easy to say next. And I think that's sad too, because I think if we were all to look ourselves in the mirror, we'd realize that, man, we're not perfect. And I certainly hope that people would give a little grace and a little bit of patience towards relationships, and because if you want something long lasting, you're gonna have to fight through some of that stuff, and you know what? You're gonna realize real quickly that you're not perfect, and
Right.
somebody want to swipe on you.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
you want to, I think it's important to dive deep and really cherish building those types of relationships, because they're it's not always what it seems, especially social media these days. Grass isn't always greener, and I think that people have it, like I said, going back to their short attention spans. If they never spend enough time to get to know particular people, what makes them move, what gets them excited, uh, what things they have in common. It takes time. You know.
Hmm. And like stuff like Drown, Devil Is Me, Hell to Pay, it's all about that self awareness. And
Yes.
in Hell to Pay, I like the lyric, running circles around my demons, but they're screaming so loud. It's like you're doing the
Yes.
best you can to control what's going on inside, but you can't help because the ultimate pain that's still there is just like extremely, pungent, extremely overtaking in that way.
It is, and you can't escape it, right? You can take a time out. You can try to reset. You can take your all the things that you can't control, and you can silence those for a short period of time, but you can't escape them 100%. The world has changed, and you can't escape it. So it is hard, because you're gonna have to build up a strong immunity, so to speak, to all of the crap that's happening, and don't let it affect you, because it does. Even the most strong of us out there that are able to um, uh, take in certain information but deflect the information that's not going to serve you. There's still a lot of noise out there, and they're screaming really loud. That's for sure.
Hmm. Yeah, it's all about like just noticing that noise and like, but what I admire about you is not only your self-awareness but the fact that you engage in a lot of pleasantries that many people take for granted. For example, you're still able to listen regularly to bands that you love, whereas the active, like, super involved musician has no time to, or they won't allow themselves, rather, the time to enjoy the bands that they love. And you also see the merit in doing covers. And I
Yeah.
really like that you added in Wanted Dead or Alive, Bon Jovi,
Mhm.
of course, and you have a little bit of that post grunge with 3 Days Grace, Never Too Late. So it's cool, man.
Thanks. Thanks. I think that, I think there's some classic songs out there. And if you, hey, at the end of the day, if you can't, you're in the music business, and if you're an artist, but you can't appreciate art, then I don't, it doesn't even make any sense to me.
Right.
So I think the only reason that we became artists and decided to go down this path, even at a very young age, is because we were inspired by other artists that created and painted a picture that was so great and so beautiful that we wanted to take down, that's what we wanted to do. And I think that never stops. Even today, there's bands coming out left and right that I still stop and listen and say, man, these guys are incredible. And and these are brand new bands coming out. So I'm a fan just as much as anybody else that's in the audience watching a band as well. So and that'll never stop.
Yeah, and it's so cool because when you know everyone was excited, and I had no idea why they took this off, but um 3 Days Grace, at one point, they had the original singer's Groundswell stuff on Spotify, his original band Groundswell, like the more grungy stuff.
Right?
Man, like he did that stuff when he was 17 years old.
Something else? Oh, guys, incredible. One of my favorites for sure.
Yeah.
And so and that inspires me. And I hope it inspires other people as well. To go out there and if they want to, and they go down the path of writing or performing, that they use something like Adam as an inspiration as well.
Yeah, and I love going back, man. I love doing a backtrack, with corn and sex art, being on the cultivation 92 compilation with all this like avant-garde and gothic kind of stuff, and then Chester Bennington with his original band, grunge band back in the day, Gray Days.
Yeah, well,
Like,
sure.
that's a trip.
Yeah, man, for sure. I mean, it's some excellent stuff too. You know, and
Yeah,
it's
and
great.
like you never know. Like, you never know if you didn't take the time to look back. Like, you never know. You're like, where did it start? Where did elements of the final product have their roots?
Correct. That's right. And there's something to be said for that. And I think that if it's like an onion, the more you peel back those layers, the more you realize, wow, this is really amazing. But once again, it does come back to time and attention. And I think that if your intention is to really peel back the onion, I think you'll be really surprised at what you find. And sometimes the further you go back, the more respect you're going to have for the music that they're creating today as well.
And I know you take a bit of a different approach with your band with the anonymity. And like, I was wondering, so it's not just promotion, is it just letting the music speak for itself?
Well, yeah, I think it's if you take the emphasis off the individual and I think that music is much more, and any music fan knows this, but I think that it's hard to um, communicate how important the music is just on the music alone. And I think that if you partner music alone with imagery, if you connect that to a story, I think if you connect that and you create another universe stemming from that music, then I think that you're touching all senses and you're doing things that other bands have definitely done before, but some bands will. I don't think they've gone. They don't go as far into the story and actually the universe that's being created. It's more so just music. So I think that we're trying to take the emphasis off of the actual person and try to create the project as a whole, where someone can just get lost in. I think that's the most important.
Yeah, like immersing themselves, like immersing themselves in the experience because, and I kind of get your, I'm starting to, because we've had dialogue about this, I'm starting to understand and accept and appreciate your approach more because a lot of bands do it as a gimmick, but you have methodology to it. And
Yeah.
to another point, it's like when we think about people as artists, there's other intimate ways that we get to know people through their social media feeds, and then they might have one belief or a couple of beliefs that people are so on, and then they just get dragged to all hell just because they say something you don't like or they believe in something you don't like, and then it's just a whole huge distraction from what they're trying to create.
Correct. Yes. And I think it's like we want to reach people. I think that's the big thing too. And I think that there's more ways to reach people and create a movement than music alone. And like I say, if you look at the amount of hours people spend visually on social media or watching YouTube or watching, I don't know, Netflix. I mean,
Right.
people are, and that's an escape. I mean,
Mm-hmm.
it's an escape for a lot of people, for escaping and getting outside of who you really are because maybe who you really are or the circumstances you're really in right now or the community
Yeah.
that you're involved with maybe doesn't serve you.
Right.
And so
No.
people go deeper and deeper into another world, like I said, whether that's Netflix, whether it's music, and we wanted to pull all that together and create something that was really special and unique. And it was more than music.
Yeah. I mean, I can speak for myself. I was born with CP, but in my dreams I can walk.
Oh, there you go. There you go. It's an like I said, it's an escape. And well, if you could spend more waking hours in that dream state and certain triggers, whether it was music, whether it was imagery, or it was both, that that helped you kind of stay more in that dream state, even though you were not sleeping.
Right.
That would be positive.
Right. Yeah. And speaking, you know, of the people in general, the fans, the demographic you're reaching at present, your new single, Firefly. Let's get into that. It's speaking. It's directing the attention to those who feel, that isolation, that general kind of invisibility. But you know, with the intention of Firefly, there's that spark. There is like a certain visibility to it.
Always.
Yeah.
Oh, and I think that this was when we chose this song to be the first single that we teased from the new album coming out because um, the album is very diverse, but the first spark of something is usually what grabs people's attention. And you're right. I think people do, like we talked about before. People kind of are meandering through life, maybe being a little bit lost, whether it's lost in you know what it is they're trying to accomplish professionally. Maybe it's a like I said, a personal relationship.
Right.
And there is a spark, and there is something that you're not alone.
Right.
And there, all you need is a spark. All you
Yeah.
need is the first light. And if you can grab onto that, and then you start going down that path, better things will start to come your way.
Exactly. And how does that sort of bleed or like give light, pun intended, to the rest of the album?
Well, it's interesting because the you're going to find out with the album. The album's much more than an album. It's an awakening. It was our opportunity to light a spark to start and create a movement and to I won't say breath of fresh air,
Right,
but
right.
going in a direction where, like I said before, it's not just music, it's not just lyrics, it's something much bigger than that. And it's a movement, it's a community of people. And you'll see that there's on Facebook, you'll see there's a Facebook group called The Order Beneath,
Mm-hmm.
and you learn a lot about Under Black Sky, what it's all about, where this all started, where it's going, and it's a living, breathing thing that's not just four guys with masks playing music. This is a collective with a community of people, and that spark from Firefly is going to light the basically be the catalyst to what people are going to see in the next few weeks into when the album does come out in October. And I'm hoping that people will see what our intention was, which was we're reaching out and we want to give people a platform and a place to go to be able to connect, to communicate, to feel a sense of belonging in a kind of a messed up world right now. So, that's kind of why we're doing what we're doing. And I think this the medium of how we're trying to reach people is it touches on all four senses of what people have come to not necessarily tie to just music alone.
Right. And I was thinking about your lineup because you have your persona is the prophet, and then you have Onyx, the guitarist, the seer, eyes that pierce the veil, and then you have Beast, the executioner, the drummer, fury without apology, and then you have Jax, the redeemer, the bassist, the bearer of the final key. And I was wondering if at any chance the lineup revolves, would they be entirely different personas with a different mission? Or would they stick to the same mission and the same persona names?
Well, that's a good question, and you need to join the Order Beneath to find out.
Yeah!
I will tell you that like I said, this is not an album. This is something. This is an awakening. This is something that's living, breathing, growing thing that is not static, and it does change. And there are twists and there are turns. Maybe just like you have a series of movies
Right.
or a series of books that you really really love seeing. And you don't know what's going to be around that corner. That is Under Black Sky.
Yeah, and you're not just about hooks. You're about depth. You're about relatability. You're about community. And you better go physical on this one, man, because man, that's pretty much the only real way to enjoy music now, right?
Well, I tell you, we do what we do because we love it and we're passionate about it. But I'll tell you, the um, even going back since, and if you asked every one of us individually, we'd have a unique, different story, but very, very similar in the fact that we were inspired at a young age, and we were called to do something,
Right.
and a big part of that is the live performance and
Yeah.
the entertainment side and being able to create and put together um, a show,
Right.
not just a concert, a show where people will come, they will get immersed into what it is we're doing, and they will leave saying, "Wow, I I wish I had so and so with me. I wish so and so would have come because they would have really connected, or I want to come back as soon as I possibly can." So that is the game. That is the mission, the things that we pride ourselves on, and because I said I think you can't. you can't rest on the laurels of music.
Right.
You have to create the full immersive experience in order to get the story across.
It's kind of like what I do with my music. I originally didn't want to do like a two-song single, but then I noticed, like in retrospect, the two titles of my single, it's How to Care So Much and More, because track one is How to Care, track two is So Much and More. They each like go together cohesively and cyclically because
Right.
if it wasn't for one specific part of the first track, the message would be lost and they would just be like two standalone random songs.
There you
So
go.
it's great that you have those components. And by the way, you can just, search my name on Spotify and there you go. You find,
Beautiful.
yeah,
That I will do.
that's awesome that we can, connect that way.
No doubt about it. I think we've got a lot of the same concepts and thoughts toward music and how they intertwine and how they connect, how one song leads to the next, and takes the listener down a path that keeps them guessing.
Yeah. And keeps them entertained and immersed. And, you know, wrapping all that together, what have you learned about yourselves, not only as musicians, but as people going forward?
Uh, well, I mean, I would say this whole process, um, and I would say, it's hard. Everything you do, my belief is everything that you've done in the past is a stepping stone to where you are today. Every choice that you've made in the past was done for a reason, and that's why you are where you are today. And I think that the choices that we've made, the things that we've done, the experiences that we've had, good, bad, or indifferent, shaped who we are and why we are here today. And I think that um, I think that we've learned a lot. I think wisdom is the best teacher, and I think if you are a smart student and learn from your failures, so failing forward, and you always find out how to become out of that particular circumstance better, and learn from your past, then I think that you can come up with something that's really great. And I think that's where we're at today. And I think that we've got a lot of wisdom on our side.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that what you're going to see unfolding over the next few months will be blatantly obvious and a testament to the things that we've done in the past and growth as individuals. And but that all being said, we're never at the finish line.
Right.
We're always learning, and this will also be a learning process for us. And I think that people learn not just through doing, but they also learn from other people. And so, as we're building a community and a movement of people, we want to learn from them. We want to become better because I do believe that there's things that we can do as individuals that can be great
Mm-hmm.
or really, really good. But there's things that we can do as a community that can be unbelievable.
Right.
And so that is kind of our belief around that. And so, like I said, this is more than music. It's a building a movement and a community of people.
Right. And speaking of community and speaking as if, you're still looking, I mean, I've been in contact with this guy, Gary Lawyer. He's a legendary Indian rock musician. He's been active for, over 30 years, does stuff on his own terms, but he's really looking forward to people covering his music. And I was wondering if you can check out that song, The Other Side of Dawn, that's like from his third album, his breakthrough album, and it has that perfect kind of Jekyll and Hyde situation thematically. Just the color tones, I think you'll really get inspired by that.
Beautiful. I'd love to check it out.
Yeah, he'll be I'll reach out to him. He'll be psyched to know that other people want to cover his songs. He's always looking forward to that.
Oh, love to hear it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And lastly, anything you'd like to say to your fans?
Yeah, thanks. I mean, I appreciate that on behalf of the rest of the guys. I appreciate your attention. Um, I appreciate you reaching out, your comments. For those of you that haven't heard or have not had a chance to join the Putts Public Facebook group now, but will end up becoming private eventually, is called the Order Beneath.
Right.
If you haven't joined that group, please do that. That's where we're going to be able to communicate all things under black sky, everything that's rolling out. Um, there is a movement being created, and we're obviously excited about that. So, like I said, the Firefly is now out. Make sure if you haven't had a chance to check it out, please do so. Save it, like it wherever your favorite listening platform is, and do me a favor if you're a fan of collecting vinyl or those types of things. New Blood will be a limited edition vinyl that for pre-order now. If you go to our website, you can pre-order. It's just under blacksky.com. You can pre-order that the full-length debut for Under Black Sky that's coming out October 24th. And if you're in the Texas area, southeast or mid region, then please, if you can, stop by, see one of our live shows that's coming up in a third week in October, and make sure that you connect with us. This is an exciting time for all of us. Hope you really dig what's being released on this album, and looking forward to seeing you guys in a town near you.
This has been fantastic. A deep discussion between me and Crisis. Thank you so much, man.
Jake, appreciate you, buddy. Thanks for your time. Thanks for everything you do. Be well.